Good day, everybody. So let me just enlighten you again pertaining to the day and time we're living in. That's extremely crucial that we are on our P's and Q's. The teachings of Dr. Malachi Z.K. York, His Excellency, taught something called Wunuwapu. Wunuwapu is the science of nature that deals only strictly with factual data. The etymological meaning of science means to know, to have knowledge. It doesn't mean to say no or a denial or a negative. It means to know. That's why the English language we were taught from Dr. York's teachings, Dr. Malachi Z.K. York, His Excellency, is that we only utilize truth in life. Having a belief system is too open-ended for room for doubt. So when you have truth, and it's something that can be proven in three ways: through experience, through evidence, and through reasoning. Through experience, through evidence, and through reasoning. Those are the three ways to prove a fact. Now, not every time would you be able to prove from your subjective experience, meaning it's only towards what you experience, but you can learn wisdom with reasoning, only right reasoning. So the way that we operate is through right knowledge or the right information or the right data that gives the right wisdom, right? Once you apply it, you have wisdom in the truth of what you discovered with truthful information, and then that application, then from an understanding of gaining more funding of your fundamentals or basics, you then rise into an understanding, and that understanding brings about a means of appropriateness in order to discern in life as adults, not using emotions. When we teach, we say emotions are energies in motion that brings about a type of block or a type of hindrance to allow us as adults, if we're oversaturated in our emotional state, it impairs our better judgment. That's why Wunuwapu was so significant in only us teaching the masses truth to free our minds from being captivated with religion and the confines of limitations, that the more knowledge you have, as the saying goes, the more powerful you become. The more knowledge, the more power. The more knowledge, the more power. So let me just talk on this matter, on this fact. I'll say it one more time. The more knowledge you have, applicable to what you apply, the more powerful you become as a being, as an entity, as a person, as a soul, okay? The mind governs all life. The mind is the deciding factor. The mind is the deciding factor when it comes to any decisions, whether to think, whether to speak, or whether to do with actions, period. And no one in their right mind can argue with that. Now, Wunuwapu, as taught by the master teacher, His Excellency, Dr. Malachi Z.K. York, is a high priestess. We incarnate down here from an angelic realm in order to save everybody from these confines of us honoring nature in willpower being how we as adults chose to live our lives. There are rules of engagements called codes of conduct that we are not with the golden rule. Again, I'm going to reinstate. The golden rule indicates do not hurt you or anybody else. Now, in light of my isolation, I was trained in my own defense and shown that I had a gift called the crown of life that I received, that I don't taste death. That's my proof of me being in a right soul, angelic, that I'm angelic, and I had to have, as I was told in isolation, in my personal privilege to share with you all, that I am immortal. So the accounts of me having proof of that so much is my confidence in when I say it outside to all of you that it's not common knowledge to hear anybody on an earth plane of just being considered I'm human, and this is the spiel, I'm human, what do you expect? This is what it is. And so sometimes that lingo is a limitation. I'm just human, so that's why I make mistakes. In other words, no. You have beings that are here that aren't human, that are of a higher caliber of intelligence than human beings. Human beings are a baby race. And in the history of human beings, there is a jump in our evolution called the Anunnaki involvement. It's in the history books. Now, the Anunnaki came down here, and it was calculated when those of us who are intellects searching for knowledge to ask realistic questions where who are we? Why are we here? Why does life happen the way that it happens? So in their research, they realized that their natural way of evolution had a break in it where there was a major jump within their intelligence of their naturalness to evolve. That's where us Anunnaki came in because of a war that happened in heaven, that our planet was attacked. Okay, so there was internal rivalry amongst us, a misunderstanding that caused a lot of distension amongst our family unit. And so those beings that are very brute and harsh and ignorant and arrogant, they have a title called reptilians. They, according to Dr. York and the teachings of us in Wunuwapu, wanted the planet Earth because their planet Maldek was hit by Nibiru, not on purpose. It was an accident, according to the account of what was discussed and taught. And so they wanted the planet Earth, and the Riskians, or the hierarchy of creation, said no. So here we are today, sped up in what I'm trying to get out to tell you all, that those type of beings were manipulating humans. And so we had to come down here to rectify what was happening. And every time we come down here, they lock us up like they did with Dr. York. They lock up all the leaders, the black leaders. Now this is a different moment, a different day and time called judgment. That's part of natural nature that cannot be muscled. It's something that happens naturally with the accounts of however you thought prior to that time is all of the receipts of whatever you get back at you. Your fears increased, you are attacked mentally, and so that's because of the habit of the way all of us, whoever it applies to, the worst of us, really, however you were thinking in your patterns of your thought processes. Now, because of the opening of the sleeping giant that I accessed within myself as the first, they are trying to take me out. They have something called DARPA, where they studied quantum knowledge pertaining to being invisible and utilizing with other technologies from other higher beings that don't like Anunnakis and want to see us fighting each other. This was a war. And so they're trying their best with what they can't do anymore, because I claimed my darkness, all of it, as my beingness. I'm the only token of being the great mother that reawoken. And in the accounts of my system that gives me a feedback, since I don't, as a protection, listen directly into the astral plane, I can hear them in the mind intuition connection of a mind linked. I'm able omnipresently, as they gave me an account, that I'm waking up to get them to tell me about my powers and the similarities as a protection, that they can't speak to me directly. So I can tap into them. I can pick up intuitively, with intuition being a knowingness. That's my gift of having my mind returned on, that it's rather powerful to pick up on what people can't pick up on, kind of like dolphins having sonic waves of a sound that only they hear, and dogs as well. Sometimes dogs can hear what human beings can't. Those are gifts, right? So that's what I have, an intuitive knowledge of my mind power turned on, and it's nothing to play with. So therefore, they have been trying every day to murder me. They have been trying in the astral plane, in the astral realm. Whenever you tamper with quantum mechanics or the quantum world, and you don't know that it is governed by God and the intentions pertaining to what you want to do to someone that you can't kill, they kept trying. So DARPA deals with nanotechnology, technology you can't see with your eyes, that they keep trying to utilize against me. As I tell you all, your mind is the boss in how you choose in honor of your willpower, that makes judgment justified, that however you you think what goes around comes around as an incentive in nature and creation to not allow us to feel good, to hurt each other. So you get a karmic receipt to indicate as a lesson, do not hurt you or anybody else. Now, when it comes to your own self, there are punishments that you don't hurt you, no matter how life gets hard. Whatever happens, life happens naturally. And eventually, like in the movie Final Destination, there is a parable that indicates somebody that was trying to get away from death, and they went to the next town and they thought they escaped it, and they actually died. So death catches up to you. Whatever in life that you invest, you reap what you sow. You make your bed hard, you lay in it. No one can take your destiny or your life that you've earned and accrued with your thinking thought processes, that during judgment, you have to pay that price. That whatever negative thoughts you thought all your life, jealousies, envies, hate, anger, emotional woes, generational curses that were put on us, have to be broken by getting your mind right and utilizing positive powers and forces in your mentalities within your own nature to uprise and heal. The only way you can heal is not with envy, not with jealousy, not with hate. That's impossible scientifically to utilize anger, aggression, or murderous tactics to heal. It doesn't work like that. That's evidence. Anything that needs healing needs love. Anything that needs healing needs gentle care. Anyone or anything that needs any type of reform needs at the forefront love. That's scientifically, as a fact could ever be a fact, that we don't heal with violence. Now, you can get strong from it and then alchemize it as a lesson learned, not to keep utilizing those insane maniac tactics of a sociopath behavior, of a sociopathic mentality, that violence and war is the answer. No, it's not. And so anyone on that vibe, they're canceling out themselves in a delusion to think they're fighting the good fight. For what? We do not add more, trouble and turmoil. We don't add more headaches and heartaches and, pain and suffering if that's evidently not viably the way, or not evidently, realistically the way on how to solve any problems. So they're losing their minds, as was predicted, that you cannot fight a good fight to hurt innocent life and then try to attack me, promoting only the joy of creation, returning back to its naturalness, that children don't have to worry about rapists. The jail cells don't have to ever be on our planet anymore. You understand, that will be the ultimate goal of heaven coming to earth. But those who know that they don't belong here, and they're going berserk. They're losing their minds. They're trying to kill me in my home. Like trespassing. That's against the law. You cannot use God, in God we trust, and, represent governmental officials, as I don't know for sure because I can't see it, but I would presume it would be of the Caucasian background that had such a rulership for such a long time, utilizing DARPA and all these different means of trying to tap into our minds, using radio waves and technology to manipulate us. That's unfair. So because I broke the mold of triple darkness, of going deep within, as in the videos of Carl Jung indicates, that whatever they're doing, they're trying to prevent the masses that are collectively, as I said, linked to me. That when I turn on the videos, whatever I speak about here, when I turn on my TV and I put on the videos on YouTube, it's synchronized to talk about in perfection what I am discussing right now. That's called perfection with synchronicities that I've seen when I accessed my sleeping giant mind and activated it for protection of all life in creation. Life is to be preserved. It's precious. And so it's not supposed to be attacked by these mangy, low vibrational whites. It has to do with their skin complexion and their leadership, that they are intimidated with the fact that they no longer have a sense of control. They can't control us no more. So they are bitterly, vindictively angry, trying to take me out, adding and asking me, are you feeling pain here? Are you feeling pain here? They're ghosts. They're fated. They're in another dimension. So yesterday, as I made that video, that account of that video was basically me getting a registered support. As I said, I'm not a father, I'm a further, meaning the technology that they have here, I have advanced beyond whatever's going on here to a future tense, like leaping forward in a leap jump. That I'm way ahead of this day and time as a protection measure. That my daughter I talked to on the phone yesterday told me, Mom, I'm like jumping. I'm traveling so fast in the fact that all of us, if you acknowledge that that's something you can also do, that you are upright to do so. Not that that's a desire of yours and you're wishfully thinking. No, those who are attached to me in a hierarchy that are my children, you all will be able to do that. And you all give accounts of that, stating you feel the shift. That means those who are of the old earth already are in the past. So they can't affect us. We move in divine timing. I'll give one story before this video surmises up. It's 16 minutes and 16 seconds a month as I looked at the clock. So in divine timing, the way we move, that's our protection. I was eating at the diner that I eat down here on Nostrand in church, and a young man, he was an elder, and he was from the Caribbean, and he heard me talking to my daughter because she was in the hospital. She had a little bit of a breakdown, not that much, but my family put her there, and that was meant to happen. I went to visit her, and I had breakfast before I went over there to buy her whatever she needed and bring her all her goodies that she needed. She was so happy. She was like, Mom, I feel like it's Christmas. Like this is like a delayed Christmas gift of everything that you are bringing me, like a Santa Claus, that makes me feel good. I told her when my mom used to visit me in the hospital, when I was in the hospital having these, environmental changes of an experience, that it felt like the environment was communicating to me. And so it was rather scary, as from waking up from a human experience, not having anything to relate to it. It was brand new to me, and we call that a rude awakening. So the only refuge I had at that time was to go on a psych ward. And so that means I'm a nature being. That means I'm a Natiru. That means we are communicating with me. As I woke up as mother, I'm more than a cosmic mother. I'm the darkness. It's our doctrine. As a matriarchal doctrine is led by women. My womb makes seeds called suns and stars, sistars, a system of a connectivity of seeds. That's why when a woman is pregnant, sometimes men, refer to women being pregnant with their seed. Similar, and as the macro and the microcosm of reality. Now, what I'm trying to get at is we jumped. We had a shift jump in ascension that was overdue. So it was like the holding back of a dam of all that energy that needed to evolute. And when we broke free from me doing it, activating my superconscious mind 100%, it made everybody that was persecuted and desecrated and dumbed down, we all jumped. Like we were like free, like busting out of jail. And so those who it applies to, all of those beautiful souls, give accounts. I feel free. I don't know who you are. You're my reflection. I feel free. You're God. And they're doing all these readings and speaking about me. I'm the one they're talking about. So I love you all. Continue on the path of righteousness. Do not, since there's a grace, do not succumb to your negative side of being manipulated by those type of beings that don't have no control anymore. You govern your life. You take back your power. I love you all, family. Please watch this entire video. And I know it's interesting. I love watching my videos. Mwah! I love you.